What if instead of debates, candidates, speeches, platforms, promises, and politics, we picked our leaders based on who had the nicer, more stylish, well-designed, and functional kitchen? So what I thought I'd do is take one red state and one blue state, go to Zillow.com, find the first 4 homes that were for sale in those states in the $1 million price range, and critique their kitchens. The future of the country depends on you because you're going to vote on the kitchen style you prefer without knowing if it comes from a blue state or a red state. Now, I happen to know, but you're not going to know till later, till you vote, until you choose which one. So we'll just have to pretend that the blue state is completely blue. Everybody who lives there is a Democrat, and the red state is completely red, and everybody who lives there is a Republican. Obviously, that's not the case, but this is for fun. Okay, let's get into this. Let's look at this first kitchen. I'm not going to tell you whether it's a rep or a Dem, or a liberal or a conservative, but have a look at this kitchen. So this is a little older of a kitchen. I would say it's early 2000s style, and it is quite nice nonetheless. Now, the issue I have with this kitchen in this particular view here is the island is very small to have a sink and a dishwasher in it. So there's no other storage in this island, and there's no landing area to the right of the sink. I mean, there's a few inches there, but nothing that you would consider to be actually a substantial landing area. When you're designing a kitchen, you should always prioritize landing area when you can on either side of the sink, and I think they could have here in this particular kitchen. You can see in this other view the fridge, the double wall oven, which is great. I'm not a huge fan of having cabinets that don't go to the ceiling, especially when the ceilings are lower. Overall, this is a very nice large kitchen. The only issue is, again, that island could have been rotated, but I see that they're trying to have seating there with the little kitchenette, which is fine. We have this overhang on the island with no stools because there really just isn't enough room for both of those things. So I think if you're going to do one or the other, you should do one or the other. If you turn this island and incorporate the seating into one side of the island, I think you could have maybe had a little more substantial oven island. Now, the other little issue I have with this particular kitchen is the handle placement for the doors. For wall cabinets, they're already high, so let's make the handles higher. And on base cabinets, they're already low, so now we're making them lower to open. I'm probably guessing right if I would say they don't even use the handles on the base cabinet. They just use their fingers on the top of the door because that's the closest way to access opening the door from, and we like ease of access in kitchens. The only real drawer bank in this kitchen is this 4-drawer bank, and then the rest are just cabinet doors. And we know from experience that older kitchens have less drawers, even kitchens from the early 2000s. Just a design mistake, in my opinion. You should have more drawers than this, or at least think about what you're going to be placing in these cabinets, and is this the cabinet that is the right choice? There's 2 things that stick out like a sore thumb in this particular kitchen, and that's the receptacle in the side of the island. I know you have to have it there, but it really stands out because of the color of the cabinets, and the pot rack. I'm just not a huge pot rack fan, and when I see one, I think, oh, there's all your pots hanging there over your island. Okay, so here's the next kitchen. Now, you can tell right away what a drastic difference. Much more modern kitchen, contemporary style. There's a lot of open shelves here, and the top ones, there's nothing on them, and even if there was, you'd never reach it anyway. And that's going to get dusty too, by the way, which should be cleaned from time to time, and now you got to get a ladder to clean that, which is a total nuisance. Super symmetrical. You know, you can't get any more symmetrical than this, I guess. If you're going to do cabinets on the back of an island, don't put handles on them. Make them push to open. That way you don't have to worry about banging your knee on that handle, which you are going to do, and it's going to hurt, and everyone's going to do it because they're everywhere. That's not going to be fun. So this kitchen does not have a lot of drawers either. A lot of top drawers, but not a lot of bottom drawers. I always wonder when I see this, was it a budget issue? Was it the way they designed it? What's in there? Here's a look at the inside of the island. They have the apron front sink, which is a great choice. Looks like I have a trash bin cabinet to the left of the dishwasher. And of course you have your dishwasher. Lots of space behind the sink. Again, another sink in an island, but this one at least is a single bowl, which is the most versatile, and lots of landing area. One thing they did really well is they extended that pantry gable a little bit so the countertop can return seamlessly into the side of it, which is a really nice finished look. So here's these 2 kitchens side by side. Which kitchen do you think is from a Democratic state or a Republican state? Make your vote now. I'm going to move on to the next kitchen.
Designing a kitchen can be challenging. Getting from point A with your old kitchen to point B with your newly renovated space can seem overwhelming. I've teamed up with Anne-Marie Cloby, an interior design and kitchen design specialist, and we are putting together a group coaching experience focused on helping you design your very own kitchen while being part of a fun and engaging community.
You'll learn all about how to analyze inspirational photos so that you can communicate exactly what it is you want. You'll learn all about cabinet solutions that fit any budget. You'll learn all about countertops and how to calculate them. And most important, you'll learn how to personalize your space so that it is a true reflection of who you are. And so much more.
This 8-week deep dive is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I want you to be a part of it, but there is limited space. So there's a link in the description below. You can sign up to my newsletter, and I'll inform you of all the details. Can't wait to see you in there. Now back to the video. Hope you're having fun.
Very modern looking kitchen. Almost looks like an IKEA kitchen at first glance. It very well could be. Flat panel doors, not a lot of drawer banks. Now you'll notice in this one they did not put the open shelves around the range hood, which I think is great. Now, this kitchen has a few problems that you're going to want to be aware of when you're designing your space, particularly if you have this U-shape design where you have a smaller space for your range and then the cabinets around that range. What they decided to do was go with 2 blind corner cabinets on either side of the range. The problem with this is that now that whole space is taken up with these blind corner cabinets. It's not as useful around the range. Maybe one could be if inside that blind corner there is a magic corner accessory unit that you can pull out. But having 2 of those is a big space commitment when you could have a drawer bank or other things there that could be more usable. So just be aware of that you do want to have these 2 great big blind corners slammed up against your range. I spoke too soon on the open shelves. This does have the open shelves. However, in this location, they're a little less susceptible to grease because they're not around the range hood, though they will get full of dust and they have to be curated, which they are in this picture. No drawer banks on this side. There's lots of cabinets. I'm just going to assume and hope that there's some pullouts in these cabinets. I do like how the fridge is in its own little alcove, and I don't think it would have been appropriate to put anything above that fridge, which they didn't in this case. Just because of the way this is designed, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. So what do you think about this kitchen? Democrat, Republican? All right, kitchen number 4. This kitchen, a little bit older, early 2000s, I'm going to say. 2005 is my guess on this particular renovation. And it has some blatant problems right off the bat, which if you follow my channel, you know what it is. It's the OTR, the over-the-range microwave. Now, the fridge location is fine. However, it looks like it's a little bit cramped with that corner pantry door. Always make sure that you can get your fridge door open, that you create a little space, know the fridge specs that you're using before you just go blindly, install a fridge into a kitchen design. I prefer a 1-level Peninsula or Island. However, when it comes to splashing of the water, which is in the Peninsula, by the way, again, the 4th one that we've seen, it does help to prevent some of that. So for that reason, it can be good. And when people are sitting there, they're not basically in the sink when they're sitting behind it. However, in terms of the style and the look of it and usability, I do generally prefer having just 1 level. Again, not a lot of drawers in this kitchen. You'll notice here in this picture, no real drawers there, just the top drawers, just a few drawers to the right of the range. A lot of cabinets that just have probably shelves in them, and it is what it is. A nice bright kitchen. It's a wood tone kitchen, which is definitely becoming more trendy. So although this kitchen is older, the wood tones are definitely becoming more and more popular. So here are these 2 kitchens side by side. I'm not going to tell you which one is from which state. You're going to have to find out that later. But which kitchen do you prefer? Vote now. And we're going to move on to the next kitchen. All right, this is a doozy. Look at this one. Definitely an older style kitchen. Lots of greenery happening above those wall cabinets. You have the little shelves next to the window. So this is, again, an early 2000s kitchen. The very detailed corbels on the island, the fluted fillers, this oak color stained, the style of the molding above. Even the edge of the countertop kind of tells us that. And again, at first glance, we notice not a lot of drawer banks. Now, the big issue for me in this space is the range placement. This is not optimal. In a kitchen this big, I'm positive you can design this in such a way that you don't have this scenario. It looks like they spent a lot of time in choosing the color and the molding details, but not a lot of work went into figuring out how to make this kitchen functional. Now this kitchen does have a sink under the window, which is nice to see for once. Seems to be ample pantry storage. Got the double wall ovens, which is good. You got these extra bank of cabinets over by the window, which is extra storage. Maybe it's a place to lean on and drink a coffee. A little bit of seating on the island, which is fine. I have no problem with that. And the island is just one nice big surface. But there's no drawers in this kitchen. While it needs some more drawers, it does have lots of landing area and counter space, which is always good to see. It seems to have ample storage. So what do you think? Democratic? Republican? Can you tell? Let's go on to the next kitchen so you have something to judge it against. All right, here's kitchen number 6. Another white kitchen. Much more contemporary. Wall oven, steam oven, or microwave, which is all good to get the double system going there. That's a really nice way to do it. The fridge in this kitchen should have a panel. It's going to keep your coffee bits from going in behind the fridge if you do put a panel there. Panel the sides of your fridges, please. It's a nicer finished look if you do it. This is a high ceiling, so they're not going to the ceiling with these cabinets, which in this case is probably a good idea because one, it saves a lot of money, and who's ever going to get up there anyway? There's always this discussion on how usable are those cabinets and how frequently I want to access them. Again, it's blatantly obvious that they did not prioritize drawer banks in this kitchen. So that would be the one thing to change in this space to make it more accessible and usable. Is easy to do in the design phase. Sink in the island, looks like there's garbage pullout as well, the dishwasher, a little bit of landing area on both sides, which is good, a little bit of space behind for seating, and just because there's going to be water splashing there, so another kitchen that has that sink in the island. Overall, it's a nice kitchen. It's lacking in accessible storage. Not storage overall, but just accessible storage. But what do you think? Which kitchen would you prefer? So here's the two kitchens again that we're judging. One is from a Democratic state. One is from a Republican state. I'm not going to tell you which one it is till later. Can you decide now which kitchen you would vote for to run your country? Let's go to the next kitchen. I hope you're having fun. If you are, please give this video a thumbs up. This one, I don't care what political party I belong to, I'd be changing. What I see in this kitchen. This is just a complete disaster in my opinion. This looks like they hired me to do the interior designing. This is something I would probably pull off. No drawers, one little drawer bank next to the dishwasher, big deal. Again, just lots of cabinets, probably no pullouts, no drawers, all top drawers, no bottom drawers. We hate drawers. Sink under the window, good to see, nice to see. Lots of space on that island, which I love. I don't know why they decided to do this type of design, but to each their own, and that's the beauty of kitchen design. You can design it how you want, and if you love it, then you love it, and everyone else can, buzz off. But when you're trying to sell your house on Zillow, maybe you want to think about it. The landing area for the wall ovens is going to be the island, and that's okay. Same with the fridge, it's going to be the island. Fridge landing area is not that important in my opinion, but the oven landing area is important, so it's really just a turn, you're on the island. So that can be good unless there's someone sitting there, and then that can be maybe a nuisance. What do you think about this kitchen? Do you love it? Do you not love it? Would you vote for it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Let's look at the next kitchen, see if something to compare it to from a completely different politically aligned state. This is kitchen number 8. And kitchen number 8 is obviously much more modern and contemporary, and a white kitchen. Everything is very symmetrical. So if you have that symmetrical look that you want in your kitchen, this is a great way to do it. Doesn't look like there's cabinet storage on the back of this island, just the back panels, which is fine. And the fridge is nice and built in. For once, we have this fridge that kind of fits the space nicely. You don't see the sides of the fridge. Really, the thing you're aiming for is the reveal of the door is fine. Other than that, you don't need to see anything else. And they have the cabinet above, which is good. But is there drawers in this kitchen? Is there finally a kitchen with drawers? There doesn't seem to be any drawers in this kitchen either, except for the top drawer. You can only do so much with these top drawers, people. You need to have some drawer banks. What are in all these cabinets that is so accessible that you can put a drawer there? Sink in the island again. So there's definitely a trend for a lot of kitchens, no matter where you're coming from. This seems to be a trend. Open concept, sink in the island. Very, very modern looking space. The beverage fridge is a really nice addition to a lot of kitchens. So I guess if you want to prioritize that over a drawer bank, then go for it. Beautiful kitchen, but it's definitely missing the drawers. But what do you think about that kitchen? What state did it come from? Was it a red state, a blue state? Here's the two kitchens you can vote on again. This is going to determine the future of the country, the way that you're voting on these kitchens. So if you're ready for the big reveal, let's go for it. So if you voted for this kitchen, you voted for a Democrat kitchen. Now that might spoil everything for the rest of these because there's a trend. All right, this next kitchen was, you guessed it, a Republican kitchen. Kitchen number 3, Republican. And kitchen number 4, Democrat. Do you see the obvious trend that's happening? Kitchen number 5 was also a Democrat kitchen, making kitchen number 6, Republican. Kitchen number 7 was the Democrat kitchen. Exciting kitchen of them all to look at visually, making kitchen number 8 a Republican kitchen. How did you vote? What did you end up voting for? Who's leading the country based on kitchen designs? I would love to know in the comments. I hope you found this fun and interesting and insightful as well if you are planning a kitchen design. Sign up for my newsletter and I'll inform you when we're going to launch the group coaching sessions. It's coming up very soon with limited spots available, but it's going to be a blast if you are designing a kitchen and you wanted that community experience. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.